Hello everyone and welcome back to Russell's Movie Reviews, the show where I review stuff that's mostly pretty good and maybe one of the best movies of all time, or a film that absolutely sucks and should remain in the depths of hell. And welcome to my reviews of the Cars trilogy. Um, as I mentioned last week, or in the previous video, which was the TMNT 3 video, um, that Wednesday through Friday this week, I will be covering all three Cars films. Uh, Obviously starting with Cars, and then tomorrow will be Cars 2, and then finally on Friday we're going to end with Cars 3. Now the reason why I decided to do all of them now is because today marks the 15th anniversary of the original Cars film. And I thought, might as well do them now, because who knows when I'm going to do them next, so might as well get it done and over with right now. So, hope you guys enjoyed this set of videos, and um, you know, or this quick little trilogy of videos for the next few days. Also, to any LGBT people out there, happy LGBT month. Um, I just want to mention this real quick. That if someone is gay, I honestly have no. I don't like if someone tells me right now, like someone came up to me and said, "Hey, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm gay," I I don't think that's a bad thing. I actually fully support it. So, um, you know, like I said, um, uh, any uh LGBT people out there, happy LGBT month. So, I don't know if I'm gonna be covering possibly the one LGBT movie that I wanted to do, which uh, is a animated film that goes along with a cartoon series that is very well known for having is that is a good, I, I guess a good representative of LGBT characters, which by the sounds of that you guys should probably know what I'm talking about, but I'll save that till episode 100. But anyway, also, uh, I want to quickly mention this before we actually get on to the review. So, as you guys know, I am part of a friend group that made the Cringe Squadcast channel as long as the Big Five channel. One of those people that I frequently hang out with is a person called Vignesh. And he had a YouTube channel that was doing moderately well. He had about 30 to 50 subscribers. Um, some reason somehow I don't know why, but apparently today he was gonna go onto YouTube, like on his account, and it said that his account was banned. Uh, and he told me that the circumstances why was because someone was putting Call of Duty videos onto his channel. I don't know, I don't know why that's necessarily bad, but um, in that case, I don't basically that caused something that caused YouTube to go, hey, I don't think this channel is suitable for YouTube, so they banned it. He tried many different ways to try and get it back, and so far it has not been successful. So to compromise that, he decided to make a new YouTube channel, which I will. He asked me to shout it out for him. Which, Vinesh, if you're watching this right now, I will link your channel down in the description below the new channel. So the people can go subscribe. So if you guys, uh, please show me some love. Like, please show that guy some love. He does really cool how-to videos, and you know, uh, I give him, the stuff that he does is absolutely is great. So, um, you know, go and support him. Again, link is down in the description below. Go and check that out. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's get on to the review. So, um, Cars. This is a film that I used to frequently talk about. Whenever I talked about uh, favorite, and someone brings up the topic of Disney Pixar, famous animated films, I always bring up this film. And I'm just gonna say this right now. This is, without a doubt in my mind, my all-time favorite animated movie of all time. Even after I've seen, other great anime films like The Lion King, Aladdin, those are great, but in my mind, this film is a masterpiece. Um, and it it's a uh, it honestly kind of comes from the fact that I this was one of the first films I've ever saw, because for people who don't know, I was born in 2005, and obviously this film was released in 2006, specifically June 9th, 2006. Now you see why I'm uploading this video now. Um, but yeah, um, so yeah, this was one of the first films I ever saw, and I loved it. Even when I've watched it several times on DVD, and then I got the Blu-ray, I literally wore this thing out, even to the point where I don't know if you can see that, but you see, it kind of comes out on camera, but you see those lines. That means that kind of shows that I've wore this Blu-ray out, this particular Blu-ray, and I can't even watch the film in a certain way because of that. So that kind of sucks. Um, so um, I wore this thing out. So that is why I got this really, really fantastic 4K steelbook. I think the artwork is fantastic. There's the spine. I did a whole unboxing on this like a year ago, I think. Um, and there's the inside. Obviously comes with the 4K disc and the Blu-ray. I think. Let me see. Um, Yeah, I think this Blu-ray disc is the same, is basically the transfer on the 4K, but obviously scaled down to 1080p. I think because the disc says it's copyright 2019 as well as the 4K disc. Um, but yeah, um, unfortunately, I was not able to check out the actual 4K picture for this review. I was only able to check out the standard 1080p quality of the film, and it still looks great. Still, I think one of the best Pixar animated films. Uh, anyways, enough of my praising of the film. Let's get on to the review itself. So, like I said, this was released on June 9th of 2006. Sorry, this had a budget of $120 million. Domestically, it made over 244 million, and worldwide, it made over 461 million. So this was a massive success. And of course, this was directed by John Lasseter, the one of the co-founders of Pixar, and directed Toy Story 1 and 2. I think A Bug's Life. You know, was directed or was a part of some of the greatest Pixar films of all time. And um, I think this is one of them. I feel like that this is severely underrated. Because either people say that it's okay or it's flat out terrible. They never say that this is one of the best animated films of all time. I personally think it is. I think this can go up with, Toy Story 1 and 2, The Incredibles, Monsters Inc., even some 2D animated films like Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King. This is that good in my opinion. And I feel like that not many people talk. I mean, because obviously kids are gonna love it. It's meant for It's a family film, but it's really targeted to young kids. But I feel like that more adult critics should check this out because it really is fantastic. Because I get the point that people who criticize this film always bring up the fact that why do they have to be cars? Well, if you ignore that, there's a great plot around it, which I'm gonna get to right now. So while traveling to California to race against the King, played by Richard Petty, and Chick Hicks, played by the fantastic Michael Keaton, for the Piston Cup Championship, Lightning McQueen, played by Owen Wilson, becomes lost after falling out of his trailer in a run-down town called Radiator Springs. While there, he slowly befriends the town's odd residents, including Sally, played by Bonnie Hunt, Doc Hudson, played by the late Paul Newman, and Mater, played by Larry the Cable Guy. When it comes time for him to leave the town to the championship, is wait, okay, I just hold up. When it comes to time for him to leave to the championship, is no longer his top priority. Um, I feel like this is a good. I don't know what kind of like plot this is, but it's a good kind of like where the main character is like a hotshot kind of person, and as the story goes on, he realizes something about himself, where he's still technically the hotshot, but he's learned something about himself, and the character has grown. This is good character development, people, and I don't again know why so many people think that this is a bad film. I can understand why people criticize Cars 2, which I'll get to tomorrow. But I don't understand why people criticize this film so much. Um, I just don't get it because this film is like almost a masterpiece. I just don't get it. But um, going over the voice cast, we have Owen Wilson as Lightning McQueen, probably one of his more tolerable roles. I probably, in my opinion, his best performance in general. Uh, we have Bonnie Hunt as Sally Caris. I probably butchered that last name. So Sally, she's a great love interest. Uh, I feel like that. I can't believe I'm about to make this comparison, but it's kind of like if you, it's kind of like the relationship between Mr. Furious and I forgot what the lady's is, like the lady at the diner in Mystery Man, from 1999, where in the beginning he's shown to be kind of like this hotshot, and the girl is like okay whatever, but as the film goes on, he starts to open up more to the character, and that's when the girl starts like okay I'm starting to like you, let's start hanging out more. Um, both these films do really good like about it, but I people talk about Mystery Men way more than this film in terms of actual good things about it. And this film, I gotta admit this right now, this film spawned one of the biggest toy franchises in the effing world. Because I mean, yeah, Toy Story had toys because obviously, and like other Pixar films had, but this film I think was really like the catalyst to like launch Pixar into like, okay, we're gonna make money off of merchandising. This is where it's going. Um, you know, I gotta admit, I think I actually might have some of the original toys somewhere around in my room, but like I literally still have some of the like old 2006 2007 toys. Like that's how much of a fan I am. Um, we have Larry the Cable Guy as Mater. Um, again, like Owen Wilson, this is probably his most tolerable role. Um, the late Paul Newman as Doc Hudson, he does a fantastic performance, and um, I'll mention it later. But what happened to him is very very sad. Um, we have Michael Keaton and Richard Petty playing Chick Hicks and the King respectively. They both do fine. I feel like that Chick Hicks, I feel because there's not really like a quote unquote established villain throughout the whole entire story. I mean, I guess if you really wanted to, you could say that Chick Hicks is technically the villain. Um, cause he kind of just seems really just like a jerk. So, yeah, it just seems like he's like I guess he's it's kind of like a Toy Story thing where it's like there's not really a villain unless you count Sid, which only really appears until like this the second half of the second act of the film. Um, I feel like that Chick Hicks is like the under like he's not a main villain. Like if this was like if this was an action film, Chick Hicks would be like an underlying villain where the main villain would be something else, you know. Um, where this film it doesn't really establish a villain, which I don't think it needs to. Like I said, I guess you can say that Chick Hicks is the villain, but even then that's kind of stretching it. Because this I don't think this film really needs a villain. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't like a villain doesn't really suit this film, and um, I think the film really benefits from it. Not really having a villain because it's more about the characters than McQueen being the villain in the end. We have John Ratzenberger as Mac. Um, uh, great performance. I think he appears in like if like almost if not all of the like all Pixar films. Because I know that he plays Ham in the Toy Story films. He plays I know he plays Mac. Um, I can't think of any major characters right now. We have Tony Shalhoub as Luigi and Gody Coronado. I'm so sorry if I butchered that name as Guido. They're both great. Tony Shalhoub I know from Galaxy Quest. Um, so I kind of, granted, I knew him from as unknowingly knew him as Luigi in this film that before I knew him as in Galaxy Quest. But yeah, we have Cheech Marin as Ramon. I think I'm trying to remember. Was he the guy that played the three different roles in Dusk Till Dawn? I think he did. He does fine. We have Paul Dooley as Sarge. Again, great. Jennifer Lewis as Flo. Again, great as usual. Uh, Michael Willis as the sheriff. Again, great. I think he actually, um, I think he was the guy that like showed him around Route 66 when they were doing research for this film. So that's kind of cool. The fucking great George Carlin as Fillmore. Um, if you guys are kind of younger fans like me, you guys know him as the narrator, the U.S. narrator for the first 4 seasons of Thomas the Tank Engine. Um, and we have Catherine Helmond. Helmond. I'm so sorry if I butchered that last name as Lizzie. Uh, and she does great. Favorite scenes. I could say this whole fucking film is a favorite scene because I love this film so much. But if I had to pick one, I would probably the two the race at the beginning and the race at the end. Great, brilliant. Um, but if I had to choose like a slow scene, like a very quiet scene, or like just like a talking scene, see that's so hard because there's so many great scenes in this film that I can't pick one. So really, in my opinion, this whole film is my favorite scene. But if I had to pick one, it'd probably be the two race scenes, the one at the beginning, and the one at the end. Um, you know, the soundtrack was done by Randy Newman, who did a lot of the early Pixar soundtracks. I know he did Toy Story, and Toy Story 2. I think he might have done Bug's Life as well. Um, I think he might have done Monsters Inc. and The Incredibles. I'm not sure on that though. I'm not sure who did the scores for both of those. but the score for this film is fucking fantastic. I know that there's a soundtrack album which has some, it's like half Randy's work, uh, and half pop songs. Um, I mean, granted, I want to get that. I think I might have that on a streaming service. But I kind of just want Disney to release um, a complete soundtrack of Randy's work. Because I don't think that's out. I don't think there's an official release of all Randy's work. If there is, let me know down in the comments down below. But I don't think there is. So Disney, if you're watching this video, release the complete soundtrack of Randy Newman's work on this film, because I would buy that, like, instantly. Um. Uh. I guess. I guess not so fun fact. I guess more of a sad fact. This was the kind of thing I was mentioning a little bit ago when I was talking about Paul Newman and George Carlin. Um, this was both of their last films, because I think Paul Newman died in 2008, and I think George Carlin died around, I think, 2010, 2011, I think. Um, and this was surprisingly both their highest grossing films. So actually, I'm gonna look up real quick when George Carlin died, because I kind of want to know that. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, George Carlin died in 2008. When did Paul Newman die? It was it 2000. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. They both died in 2008. So, um, yeah. It kind of sucks that that this was both of their last films, and I mean, I guess both a good and a bad thing is that this was their highest grossing films. Um, it kind of sucks that this is the last ones, but grandly, again, highest grossing film isn't anything to scoff at. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, it's a real shame that they're no longer with us. Um, and did I? Oh, I guess I didn't. Okay. Um, now one of the I might as well mention this now. One of the biggest mysteries about the Cars franchise is what happened to Doc Hudson after the events of this film. It's been speculated, it's been theorized about what happened to him, um, and kind of all that was answered in Cars 3, which I'll get to when we get to reviewing that film. Um, Cause I don't think they mentioned in Cars 2 that like any uh yeah, I think that the only mention that we get of Doc Hudson in that film is a memorial picture in, I think it was like, it was one of the buildings, and uh, there was like one line that said like Doc would be proud of this. So really not anything really to mention it, but in the third film they kind of elaborate more on that, which again I'll get to when I get to that review. Um, so that's really about it. Final thoughts on Cars. This is, again, my all-time favorite animated film of all time. Oh, I almost just dropped that on the desk. I freaked the fuck out. Um, if you are gonna pick this up, I don't care which version it is. Either pick up the DVD, pick up the Blu-ray, or pick up the 4K edition. I don't care which one you buy. Just buy one and watch it. I guarantee if you're around my age, you'll probably love it. Um, and adults, if you're watching this and you think that this film kind of sucks, go back and watch it and actually just ignore the fact that they're cars, and just watch it as if it was like The Incredibles or something, and just pay attention to the story, because this is honestly one of the best. Um, one of the best Pixar stories that there ever is. In terms of special features, there's crap ton on the Blu-ray. Um, Car Finder game, Mater and the Ghostlight short, one man band short, Senate Explorer, which is basically just a commentary track for the film. Radiator Springs featurettes, inspiration for cars, so lead scenes, and more. So that's just on the Blu-ray. Um, I think the 4K edition. I think the Blu-ray carries over all the special features from the original from this edition. I think the 4K uh might have the same treatment. It might have a couple of new ones. I'm not exactly sure. Um, but yeah. So that's my review of Cars. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Click over here, I believe, to go and click on my face, or over here to go to my channel, or just click down at that bar down below where my channel name is. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon to get notified when future videos are coming out. Check over, again, whichever way it is, uh, for my previous two videos, and make sure to go and subscribe to Vinesh's channel. Uh, Again, the link's down in the description below. So, please go and do that. It would mean the world to me if you guys do that for him. And yeah, so yeah, guys, stay tuned for tomorrow where I'm gonna be reviewing Cars 2, which is considered to be the weakest out of the Cars trilogy. And I honestly kind of have to agree with him. Maybe my opinion will change when I watch the film tomorrow. But anyway, stay tuned for tomorrow, guys, where I'm gonna review Cars 2. And have a good day, everyone. Live long and prosper.